Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ, Season 6, Episode 30? Wow. Already 30 episodes underneath our belt. If y'all notice, Paul's not here tonight. He posted in our private chat that we have for the show that he's feeling a little under weather. I hope you get to feeling better, Paul. And if you're watching this, I was going to say something, but I ain't going to say it now. I hope your leg falls off. No, I'm kidding. But I hope you feel better, my friend. I know it's not good. I was kind of sick in the beginning of the week. I had my sinuses have been giving me a fit because we have just been having so much rain that everything is just overextended blooming. I mean, it's like, so I didn't feel good Monday, Tuesday. I think it was Wednesday before I started feeling better with just so much sinus pressure. And then I walk out back within 24 hours. I walk, when I come out of the shop, I have a bunch of flowers on the way out here, and I'll keep an eye on them and everything. And when like a 24 to 48 hour period, Monday and Tuesday, when I wasn't feeling good, one of my plants got attacked by caterpillars.
Ouch.
I'm talking about, yeah, they pretty well, within a 24 to 48 hour period, they pretty much that thing to death. These little orange, furry little caterpillars. They were chewing.
Oh, they're not the big yellow ones with the tracks on them?
No, these are the little.
They tear up stuff really good.
These are like orange, and they're black fur on them and everything. I didn't want to touch them because some of those things they can sting you and hurt you. So I went and got me a pair of needle nose pliers and squashed them. That's the best way. I kept going out there every day, and I'd find a couple of more because they hide. They get under. Yeah, you can go wrong with a needle nose pliers. Just, yep. And they get up underneath the leaves, and you can't see them. So you have to come back the next day, and Al's got it right. Yep. I'm the Jason of caterpillar killers.
Oh, okay, the Jason.
Yep.
I was thinking more of the hotel one, whatever it's called.
Oh, you're talking about
Bates Motel.
Bates.
Yeah.
Huh?
The Bates Motel one.
Yeah, Bates Motel. Yeah. So no, I'm not talking about Bates Motel. I'm talking about Jason Voorhees. I'm just looking to make sure that we're live.
Yeah, YouTube's up. YouTube is running.
Yeah, I'm not monitoring anything today. Sorry, guys.
Now your audio is going to heck since we went live. Isn't that the way it is?
You're going robotic, Al.
Yep. I don't know why it has to do that. I really don't. I mean, it's like everything works perfect until you go live, and then it's like.
Don't need to hear anything or say anything.
Isn't that the way it is?
You're going robotic, Al.
Uh-oh. Where'd we get that from? I don't know why it has to do that. I really don't. I mean, it's like everything works perfect until...
Here, but I'm listening.
Muted.
Is that Al?
Where is that coming from? We have Aussie Man is out there. Maker 238 Deloach. James Parker. Michelle Marcoux. All those people are already out there in the... And Alan Carter is over on Facebook. Let me type in there and tell him hello. I've got the Restream bot up, but the last few times, I'm hoping that it's working right. The last few times I've tried to use it, about halfway through the show, it craps out. So
Looks like it's working. Alan Carter just typed in hello.
Yep.
Hello, hello.
All right. So let me, tonight we're going to be talking about 3D printing. Jim and Al and Dickson are going to be talking about it. I know I've done a little bit, but I don't know enough of it to contribute a whole lot. And my printer hasn't worked. I haven't fired that sucker off in months because of all this remodeling. But let me talk about my fantastic, wonderful sponsors, and they are Devobal Technologies for web design, development, and hosting. Visit devobal.com. FastCap, innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bear Wood Supply Company, your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. Klingspor, the sanding specialist, woodworkingshop.com. Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, seiko.com. And Scrollnado, the desk collection for your scroll saw, Amazon. And here in the next show or two, I have sent off some information. I want to see about, we probably will do a giveaway, even though we have the pilot challenge going on. And that's another thing I need to talk about real quick before we let everybody introduce themselves. And that is the pilot challenge has been extended into the 16th of September. I've already had 2 people contact me from the extension that that's the first time they had seen it. And I'm like, it's on Twitch, it's on Instagram. I mean, not Twitch, Twitter. So I put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook. I put it on all different kind of places. And I don't know where else to put it. Y'all, nobody can else see it, So it's like, but anyway, they Facebook have contacted me. They're entering. One of them is Wooden Tokens, I believe is the name of it.
Ooh.
Wooden Tokens, I think is his name, or the YouTube. But anyway, he's contacted me. He's entering, and he's in Portugal, I believe. He said it was.
Nice.
In Portugal. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
But-
I'm kind of beamed out here. Aussie, man.
Do what?
I'm looking at the chat. Aussie,
Oh.
man. It looks like Al's beamed out.
So yeah. So anyway, but it's been extended to the 16th, and I'm letting things a little slack. Like somebody told me that wanted to enter that they already had their pallet wood was already taken apart. Would that be okay? I said, yeah. Don't worry about it at this point. Just put something together, and I'll trust you that it's pallet wood, and don't worry about it. So looks like Al's being. Oh, well, now I see what you're saying. Aussie man said that. But yeah, to the 16th of September. So that gives people, especially since I started in the 1st of September, that gave you almost 2 weeks to complete something. So other than that, it's same old. And for those of you who are interested, yes, I'm still remodeling my bathroom. We're going to try to get my wife and I'm probably going to have help. I'm going to have to get my sons to help me because the doors for that shower are tempered glass, and they are heavy. I'm talking about heavy. And I don't know if her and I can handle it, but anyway, if we can get the doors on the shower tomorrow, I already got the plumbing all put in and everything. We'll be able to take a shower by tomorrow night and wash our nasty butts. It's been a while since I've got to wash my nasty butt. So anyway, so let's let everybody introduce themselves. Dickson took off, so Jim Bashir's.
Hi from Driveway Workshop, and just looking forward to do some 3D printing tonight.
Cool. Brenda.
I'm Brenda G of Brenda G's Designs. I have several presences on the internet. If you just look up Brenda G's Designs, you'll find me about any place. I have a YouTube channel where I do crafts and comedy. I do a live stream on Thursday nights with Matt Haas on my channel called Mind Equals Blown. We do giveaways. We talk about mind-blowing facts. And Russell, I think I'll have my palette project done tomorrow. So within the next couple of days, I'll try to get that video to you. And I guarantee that ain't nobody seen anything like this ever.
I mean, you got me worried now.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
How many YouTube rules are we going to break here?
Yeah.
Right?
Especially since you put that post where you were selling like adult toys.
Oh, wow, really? And I missed that?
Yeah. She put up a post that she was selling adult toys. She didn't want to offend anybody, blah, 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 blah. And then she had down at the bottom, it said, so I have for sale one wheelchair, one walker. When I first read it, I went like, leave it to Brenda. She would sell.
Lightly used.
So, all right. So let me jump back up to, well, go ahead, Chris. I'll get back. I'll have to go last.
All right. Hi, guys. Chris here from the Old Cranky Workshop. Still doing business in Massachusetts for 21 more days. So
Great.
that's no new videos right now. Everything's packed up. Do a quick view, empty shelves, and everything else. But so we'll be back in operation as soon as we get down to Florida. And Russ, before we sign off tonight, before you close the window down, I got an idea to help promote next year's pallet challenge.
Okay.
So,
Cool. Sounds good. Al.
next.
Hi, I'm Al Forte, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop.
Thanks.
Kilroy 79763. All over the place. Look me up as Kilroy 79763. It'll even come up with YouTube. and I'm here, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe
And Dickson.
printing.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be here. I'm Dickson Hoffman. You can find me at hoffmansignsandDecals.com.
Great. We have Dan Inge from Dan Inge Woodworkings out there. Chris Nealon said I was giving out too much information.
We got Jimbo.
Yep. He says my wife is having some serious problems with her shoulder. I've been having some serious problems with my butt. I've been sitting on it too much. I mean,
In a boat, right?
yeah, in a boat. I thought I was going to have that boat. Man, it rained that afternoon from about 3:30, 4 o'clock to like 9:30, 10 o'clock that night. I mean, a solid rain. Only time we ever seen water fill up the ditches and run over the ditches in my neighborhood is when a hurricane comes through, and the water started coming over the top of the ditch. I'm like, holy crap! I mean, it's just been rain upon rain upon rain. Yesterday it didn't rain, and today it didn't rain, but tomorrow it jumps back up to a 70% chance. So I'm hoping that we miss out some for a few days. I mean, the front yard is just turning into mush. When I tried to mow it the other day, my tire tracks from my mower, my ride lawn mower, because it was just mushy. So, all right, guys. So we're going to talk there. Jim and Al and Dickson are going to talk about 3D printing. Like I said, I have one, and I've done a little bit, but I'm not near as accurate and as good as these three guys are. So, who wants to go first?
Well, since I'm playing with this thing, I guess. What do you think?
Take her away, Al.
So
Go.
this right here. Hold on. Let me look at the monitor. I can't see what's going on.
We can see your 3D printer. We can see the half of the spool, and we can see that you got a filament in your.
Yeah. So what happened is this printer here, and I'm going to talk just a little bit about it. Well, it's not breaking. This filament is actually real brittle. I guess it's too dry. See how that just broke? And I don't know why I'm going to try to use it. I probably should just throw this whole roll away. But I'm trying to refeed it back in. And
in all these, I guess.
Damn.
What? What? Are you talking to me? But anyway, I'm trying to feed it through here. And this particular printer, and I don't know why it stopped there. It looked like it was going to start printing. I think it's just heating up at home. The printers, when they go to print, they'll go to the x-axis, to the y-axis, and then the z-axis will also go to what's called the home position. And it'll start printing from there. This thing is actually heating up. I don't know if this is actually going to print because I haven't gone through the nozzle, and there's a piece that's broken in here and stuff. This is an Ender 3. Russ, you've got an Ender 3, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I have.
This was my last printer that I purchased. It's a Bowden setup, and what it does is it actually pushes the filament through instead of pulling it through. I kind of like the other setups better, where the filament actually gets pulled through. I've got another one up there I'm going to show you in a second. This, like I said, pulls it. It's got the motor here instead of the motor down at the nozzle. And I don't know. I'm just not convinced, but they use these a lot. So maybe later or somebody else can chime in and tell me, why do they have Bowdens? Why don't they just directly drive it? Is it a throughput issue? But anyway, I have no idea myself. But this printer was, I think it was $189. They went to the Ender 3 Pro, I want to say, So they were trying to get rid of all the regular Endo 3s. It's about 8" by 8" on the heated bed. And what's nice about this bed is you can take and pop the prints off.
Yes.
By bending the bed, which is kind of neat. I normally use glass on my bed because I've had a whole heck of a lot of problems with the print actually adhering to the bed. This one has been pretty good. It hasn't loosened up or moved on me. I'll usually spray hairspray. I've used everything from
I like my old favorite Aquanet.
Aquanet, exactly, at the cheapest hairspray. I've used a heavy gel on there, and that's like glue, guys. Some people use a glue stick. Some people like the old regular blue tape. Also, I've never used the blue tape. Haven't really had to per se. Now, as far as it adhering, if you level the machine properly, and there's these little knobs down in this area on the bed. If you level it, take a piece of paper and stick it in there, then go to the opposite corner, move it to the opposite corner like that, level that opposite corner, and then go to the front, level that one, and then go back to the other one, and do it a couple of times. It seems to adhere better to the base. It seems to not move on you, and that was a problem I had. Oh my gosh, with that Folger Tech up there since day one. But leveling seems to be the solution for me. Even if some people will level it and leave it for months. You can kind of tell because you'll start losing the pieces. They'll start moving on you. They won't print properly. They'll be lopsided and really lopsided. You can actually see them that way. So over there, I've got, and I guess let me move over to this other one. Let me raise this up.
Chris Nealon said he hasn't printed on his Ender 3 in 3 years.
Well, Chris, yeah, but you've been busy. You've been busy using a lathe, right, Chris? So this one here, trying to see if I can get it in the picture there. Yeah, I'll raise it up here a little bit more. Let's see. So the part where the hold on, let me move this aside here. The part where the filament comes out on this one is right here. Notice that the motor, and you can't see it, but the motor's like right behind here, driving a little bitty gear like this that actually grabs the filament, and as it turns it, I'm trying to see it there. As it turns, I know what I'll do. I'll simulate it this way. As it turns, it grips it and it pushes it on down. Now that one does the same thing, but it pushes it, whereas this one grabs it right here, right here. On this thing, and I need to move this over to here. The filament comes down in here. I'm not going to actually load this one up, but I'm going to simulate it. It would go down in here. Well, I changed this one around, so I'm going to actually have to, in fact, make a whole nother one of these guides to where the filament will go straight down in there. But there's a little gear. I'm sorry, a little, yeah, well, I don't know what to call this. A little wheel that it sits up against right there. Trying to, let me get a little closer.
Isn't that kind of like what you would call an idler pulley or something?
Yeah, it's like an idler. Yeah,
It's your bearing idler.
Yeah, bearing idler that
Yep.
helps, or the tension is actually on the gear, but it helps keep it pinned in there. In other words,
yes, exactly. It pushes the filament. See how when you pull back on this, it goes back, right?
Yep.
It pushes the filament up against the gear, and then the gear turns, and it drives it through this tube right here, PTFE, which has like a Teflon sleeve on the inside, and then there's a heater and then it goes through the nozzle.
That's about the smallest little heater I've ever seen. Most of them are all wrapped up in.
Yeah. Check this out. So there's the I think this is called a heat break. I could be wrong, but here's the heater right here. It slips in like so. Well, it slips in like so, and it heats that part up. I'm gonna let it go for a second. It heats that part up, which in turn heats the nozzle up. Right. And in there, actually like right here, it melts the filament. So the filament's moving through there. It's kind of neat. Kind of almost wonder how it actually works because it works so well. Nozzle gets jammed right in there, and you can't see it, but it's a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, and I don't know if you can see that. That's probably smaller than a needle or the size of a tiny needle that they use to take out blood. That little hole is puny. I mean, notice how much of a hard time I'm having, partly because I'm old and I wear bifocals.
Partly because I can't see anymore.
Right, exactly.
Al, just push it through from the other side. It'll go right in.
Yeah, it will. But I was trying to do it the way we're supposed to, you know? So this here is sometimes used to clear any jams that might in there. Sometimes you get a buildup of junk and stuff in there. And then other times, these are so cheap, I keep 4 or 5 of them on hand and I throw them away. Just take them off, put a new one in, and then print, rolls at a time. There's something else that goes in here, and it goes in this tiny little hole right here. And what it does is it senses that right there. It senses the temperature on or in that metal heater, and that's how it knows what the temperature is. So it keeps it, from overheating, from cooling down too much. This is a thermistor. It's a temperature sensitive resistor. And if you've seen any of my recent lectures on YouTube, we've been talking about resistors. We haven't talked about thermistors yet, but this is a temperature sensitive resistor. That's how it knows the temperature. So that all goes back to some type of controller board, and it's like a trapeze act. It keeps it within a few degrees, which is, I think, miraculous. But anyway, also on this particular extruder, there's a fan that goes up here that cools the part. And let's see here. Wait a second. There's a little fan, and it blows down. It blows the air down onto the part. So as and you would think it would be counterproductive, but as it's putting the molten plastic down, it's actually cooling it at the same time. So you can move to the next thing and then go back and forth and do all sorts of neat things like make your print. Yes.
Did that contraption come with the machine, or is that something you printed and put on there?
No, this is actually a fan that I printed on. This one did not come with any type of fan like this.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. This is actually printed out of a clear filament that I've got that I really, really like. And it might even be the glow in the dark. I think it's just the clear. But yeah, so the 3D printer is neat because you can print pieces for your 3D printer with your 3D printer.
Right.
On the front of this thing, there was I think this is 20 by 20 extruded aluminum or extrusion, and there was a piece right there. Well, man, if you're trying to get something off of here, it's really hard because this metal piece is there. So what I did, and Thingiverse is a place where there's a lot of different parts. I went ahead and got these parts here that hold this piece. This is the y-axis this way. And by the way, you should never go real fast on your
no, you'll burn out the computer.
Yeah, because it'll feed back into the board. But slow is good. This is the X. This is the Y axis. I'm sorry. This is the X axis. This is the Y axis. And then as the table goes up and down, it'll turn with these right here. There's a couple of motors at the bottom. It raises and lowers the Z-axis. But oh yeah, there's one other little thing too. The home position on this. You can see these right here and that right there. When the Z-axis goes up and down, this is my adjustment. That little switch gets engaged. Well, I can adjust this down here to make it 0. In other words, 0 meaning when the nozzle is almost touching the glass, which this is another modification that you can make. You can go to like Lowe's. This is a 12 by 12, Russ's favorite store. Go to buy a mirrored tiles and get them. They're 12 by 12. Well, you get like 5 of them for $10. Pretty cool addition. And that's why I don't ever use tape. I don't know why the slick surface with hairspray on it really helps, but it does. I want to show you one thing. Yes, sir. You can go to like Lowe's. Yeah. Lowe's has the particular, those particular tiles.
Yes, they have the 12 by 12 mirrors, and they work awesome.
They do. One thing, actually 2 things. This is one that I took one of those 12 by 12s and I cut myself. And actually the thicker ones are really a lot easier to cut than thinner. So I did that for another printer that I've got inside that has an 8 by 8 bed. And what's funny is I was looking at this right here. This is the original Z-stop, and I got to looking at it, and man, this sucker looks like it was 3D printed when it came from the factory. So even from the factory, they're 3D printing stuff. And I didn't like this so much because it moved. It wasn't the best, but anyway, it's really. I mean, I could probably keep talking about stuff, but that's really all I wanted to show. It's pretty cool because you can print stuff. Ooh, that's way high, huh? You can print stuff like I've got right here, and print stuff, and you can even print fingers if you need a finger. There you go, buddy. You know. But anyway, I've got stuff that I've printed and never put together. I guess that's a typical maker, right?
Printing stuff you never put together.
Exactly. But anyway.
Pretty cool. Yeah. I've never had any problems when I did any 3D printing with the plate or the base that came with the Ender 3 with stuff sticking to it. I mean, I liked it. I never did put mirror or any glass or anything on there because that always worked for me. Actually, I only had one project come loose and somebody told me, either Dickson or you, Al, or Paul, or one of y'all, Jim, somebody told me use the hairspray, and I went and got some hairspray and sprayed on there. But I only had like I've probably only done maybe 3 dozen projects, probably 30 projects. I only had 2 out of the 30 ever come loose on me. So I had a pretty good success rate.
My problem with that one, and me being a total noob, I think was the leveling, because I wasn't leveling it right. And if that nozzle is too far off the bed, if that first layer isn't perfect, then you might have problems. You probably will have problems, actually.
Right.
I have a tendency of squishing it on there, which is just as bad because then I can't get them off. But yeah, if you find that sweet spot, you can print all day. I printed over 1,000 of these on all 3 of these printers. These are the ear savers for masks. They go behind.
Right.
I mean, talk about thousands, okay? And it came down to leveling on all 3 of these printers. Well, the one inside, but anyway.
Al,
yes.
Aussie Man is asking if this is the printer that you do your coins on.
No, that's the one that's inside. It's a lot quieter. so I use it. It's an ANET A8, which is supposed to be a fire hazard. And honestly and truly, yeah, I've done some modifications to it too, but it prints, stuff like that. And I'm talking about solid. Whereas the other ones, especially the Folger Tech, would under extrude and stuff, and that's the extruder. That's why that extruder is all torn apart up there, because it had some problems. The spring tension was too light, so that little wheel up against that gear that was back, so it wouldn't push it through as it should, consistently enough. But the ANET has always worked like a champ. I mean, always. And I've printed a bunch of stuff. All this stuff here has been printed with the ANET. This print took like 4 or 5 hours to print, so that gives you an idea of the time involved in prints. What I'll do though is I'll be sitting in my office, the ANET's back there, and I like it because it's quiet and it's just printing away. So
Chris Nealon wants to know, is the hairspray on my beard looks so awesome? No, I don't use hairspray on my beard.
Do you use beard oil, Russ?
I don't use beard oil. I use a thing called Suavecito.
Suavecito, yes.
Yeah, Suavecito. It's it makes it soft and keeps it from being so poofy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's Suavecito, and it's water. It's like, in other words, it's not oily. It's water based kind of, so it doesn't. But you don't use much. You just put a little bit in the palm of your hand, put it on your hands, and rub it through your beard, and it makes it soft and it smells good. And you go, that smells good.
Welcome, let's talk hair with Russ.
But yeah, the Restream bot quit working again. Like always, I want to contact them and tell them I'm PO'd because I get tired of that Restream bot not working. Other than that, any Jim, you or Dickson have anything you'll want to?
Sure. I could go through a little bit, elaborate on what Al was saying about the Bowden and a direct drive.
Please.
Yeah. Why does one? That's a good question though. But why does one do the Bowden and why does one do the direct drive? What's the advantages and disadvantages?
Well, here's a little bit of history. When I built my 3D farm 9 years ago, this is what they looked like. It was all homemade.
Right.
It was just threaded rod, and they just started designing over in the UK, coming out with 3D printers. And I had all, I'm hooked on something. I had all direct drive. And this is actually what the direct drive used to look like. This was 3D printed.
Wow.
This is the original. This is what I had on all my printers, and they did very well. It's just the technology. I'm going to expand on that, how far it came in the last 9 years since I started. So I had one printer, and then I took that printer and I built 7 more. I 3D printed 7 more. And it was a pretty good deal because it was so cheap, and the threaded rod, it's just so cheap. You could buy that right at Menards.
Yeah.
Now you had these, and the technology changed on the direct drives, but I converted all of mine to Bowden tube because the prints were so much better. I have to hold certain specs on certain jobs, and with the Bowden tube, and the reason why is now they have newer technology for direct drive, so it's not as heavy as this, but you're pushing around this weight on the X and the Y. And that's why you couldn't get prints quite as good as the Bowden tube. You're not pushing around that stepper motor. There's a stepper motor that gets bolted right onto this. This opens up, and here's that gear that I was talking about.
So the tube pushes the
Yes.
Bowden tube pushes it over to the heating element, but it's the excess weight is not on top of that.
Exactly. Now I got the Ender 3 like this, and you can see you're not hauling around a stepper motor. You're just hauling around the heater and the 2 little fans, which is nothing. So your prints come out a lot better. Because the stepper motor is mounted off to the side all the time.
Right.
Now the technology's changing a little, so some of these like Swiss, they're coming out, but you're talking a $90 or $80 nozzle. They're coming out with aluminum lighter blocks, but I experimented and I have way better results with the Bowden tubes as far as printing.
Okay.
And you can see that on these vases. I mean, they're perfect all the way around.
Right.
And here's a chapel, and this is FDM printing. Now I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The details is just perfect on this stuff. The doors actually work.
Yeah, that's nice.
They open and close. And that's your FDM printer, and that stands for fused deposition modeling. Whereas the other one is a resin printer. And I had to have one of those a while back because when you're making little gears, the resin you can get within 5 microns. There's a miniature gear sitting on the end of my finger. And I actually did a set of gears for a person. These gears are just perfect.
Cool.
And this chest piece here, I've showed the guys this once before. There's a spiral staircase going down the middle with 2 wire pieces right down the middle of the chest piece.
Right.
Well, if you get a magnifying glass at 5 microns, you can actually see it, and it's all still there with this piece. And it's sitting on the tip of my finger. It's so little.
Wow.
That's wow.
And the staircase and the spiral wire is still down the middle, and you can actually see the print on the top, but you have to use a scope.
Wow.
Now, I want to get into monitoring your printers. One way I monitor, I started out with these Zentech receptacles. I had 12 printers at one time, and you can get the software and you can control them on and off with this. And then I had a Waze camera, and them are pretty cheap on Amazon. They're awesome. They're called Waze, and they're like $30. And I could visually control them, my printers, and everything right off my smartphone, my iPhone. So that worked out really well. Well, I would run mine all the time through the night, and I would have to, some of them would turn on and off at different times depending when I started my production parts. So I took all my printers and I designed this auto switch. So at the end of every print, it comes back on the Y, and it taps the switch and shuts them off automatically after every job. So now I don't have to monitor them. I can just keep sliding them in. And that's just one way, because there's another way where you can do it through the internet called Octoprint, but that's one way that I monitor my printers, and now I can just turn them all on. And then I'm going to try a screen share here.
So in other words, you got them all set up like that, so at the end of the job, you put it in the programming for it to come back and it turns itself off.
Yes, the Y-axis comes forward, taps that switch, and turns them all off so they don't run through the night when the job is finished printing.
Hey, Dickson, I don't know what else you were going to do, but I wanted to kind of briefly talk about like Tinkercad and Thingiverse to people. So I don't want to step on what you were.
No, that sounds
okay.
good. I'll stay away from the CAD. I have one more thing.
Okay.
With the technology part of it. Now, when I share a screen, do I have to have that screen already up my desktop?
No,
or do I just click share.
You should have it up and on, yes. And then you click share screen, it'll come up and it'll ask you which screen you want to share.
Okay, I'm going to hit share.
Yep.
Screen share, 2 monitors, don't show this page. Okay, screen share screen. And now how do I get it? Okay, it's got it, but I don't see my desktop. Do I have to have my desktop on first?
I wouldn't. I don't think so.
You select the screen that's showing your desktop,
Yeah,
and then share screen. I think
you should. If you've got more than one screen, I've got 2 monitors. I can see both monitors, and I pick the one I want to share.
Yep.
Let's see. So let me hit cancel again.
But whatever you want to share has to be on one of the monitors.
Right.
Well, I can see my desktop in the background. I just wanted to go to that 3D. Okay, I'll hit the 3D file. There's 3 pictures on there. Okay, now I got that file up. Now I'm going to hit share.
Yep, there you go.
And then you should see it in one of those windows that pop up.
No, I only. Oh, okay. I'm still seeing. No, I see application windows, your entire screen. Oh, I see. Okay, let me try this again here. Let me try this again. I should have set this up earlier. So I'm going to get over here, and I'm going to hit share. Share screen. Okay. Now. All right. Nope, you're not seeing it yet.
You know, you've got 12 printers that you built yourself. I think
Yeah, and he can't get a damn share screen.
Yeah. Well, I only built 7 of them, and now like I was saying with the technology,
Okay, if you built more than one,
I have one
right,
left. I have
exactly.
one left. The original first one I built, but
Don't matter,
the rest,
you should be able to get the damn share screen up about 2 minutes.
it's crazy. Well, it showed it in the little box, but I hit share.
There you go. It finally came up.
Okay, now, okay, I
Hey!
still don't see the. Okay, I don't see the. Can you see the photo?
Now we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, and I'm going to get
Okay.
closer so I can.
Okay, it should be coming up. I clicked on that first. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Okay, here's some of my printers on the racks. A Delta, Anycubic, and there's a two CR10s there on top, and there's a Ender 5 on the right. But that's one photo. Now I'll go to the next one just to get. Here's a resin printer. My resin printer set up. There's the sonic cleaner and the little LED light for curing them. And the last picture is my rack with some parts. Now I'm going to close this.
Some parts.
Yeah. There's
Where'd
a
you
rack.
get the Sonic printer or cleaner from? I gotta go buy
Amazon.
one. Amazon. I was
Yeah.
looking to run over to Harbor Freight and get one.
Now we go to stop sharing, and we're back.
Yep. And you're back.
All right. What was I going to bring up? No, I forgot. No, anyhow. One thing. We'll do videos. Videos share also too, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a small video I want to
You do
share.
the same way.
Right,
You
so share screen again.
set
And
the
I'm
video
gonna
up.
get this over here. And this is an example of if you want to go a little farther than monitoring through your phone and auto shut off, I have something like this going on. Should be coming up in a couple minutes. Okay. Do you have to hit share yet, Russ?
It's waiting on you.
Okay, I hit it and I hit the video. I'm going to click on the video. It says share. Let me click
Something
on it.
Something ain't right because it hasn't popped up to share yet.
Okay. Let me close this and I got the share on. Share. I'll hit it again. There we go.
There we go. Now it's coming up.
There we go. Just for
Hey!
the heck of it, here's what I'm working on now, so I don't even have to have auto shut off. It should be coming up in a couple minutes.
It is.
This is when you got it nice. So I'm setting up robots to be able to unload. I just got to get the delay in there so I can load another, have another part start right away as soon as that one gets unloaded. Okay, stop sharing. Let's see. Click that again and we're back.
He's got robots to take the dang things off. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That's the epitome of laziness right there, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
My best month was I think I told you guys it was August. I went through 21 rolls doing a specific job.
Wow.
And I like I see Al has Cellutech there. That's what I like. That's what I use as Cellutech. I could get the best deal through these guys because I buy so many rolls. And
How much more do you get off a roll from them?
how much
So
more?
I can guilt. Yeah, I just want to know so I can guilt trip them the next time I buy filament.
Well, I get it right through Amazon. So
Okay.
yeah, it's actually a good deal. It's actually $18 is what I'm getting it for.
Okay, that's not too much.
Right.
A whole lot less than what
And this they have copper, like this face. They have copper and all kinds of other things. I have it's really nice stuff. And it's like with me, if it's not broke, I don't fix it. All my 3D printers have the glass mirror on, like Al was talking about with the hairspray. And this, if you take a 3D printer and you level it and you leave it on your rack, every time a part comes off, maybe after about the fourth part, I just touch it up. I actually level my 3D printers maybe twice a year. And they're running quite often, so it's been working real good. And the two CR10s were one of the first two I started with production parts, and I never had to change a part out or anything yet.
I don't mine either.
And
I haven't
that's been
changed anything on mine.
Yeah, and them two printers have been running like you wouldn't believe since they first came out with the CR10s, the CRs. And it's pretty neat how they're holding up really well.
Once I got mine leveled out, I put a piece of IKEA mirror on it, and
Yep.
I bought one of those cheap little dial gauges from Harbor Freight and
Yep.
printed a holder for it and ran it all across the bed.
Yep.
And it's when it was leveled out, I haven't touched it since, and that's got to be 8-9 months ago when I did that.
You do this long enough, I'll take any 3D printer that's not level and I'll have it all running and level within 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and it should be perfect because you just get so used to it. And I don't use BLT touch or none of that stuff. It's all now there's printers more high tech than what I have. They just keep getting better and better. I still use a piece of paper on the corners and that's it.
I actually
That's what I start
They
with.
They don't make a printer that'll level itself.
Yes, Ender came out with Creality is the name of the company. They came out with a printer that it has a strain gauge on it. It has no sensors or nothing. It's a strain gauge, and the plate does not move. It's solid. So you just turn it on and level it once, and the tip actually hits the plate, and you can see the strain gauge flex a little, and then the code remembers them settings on all the corners. It touches in about 8 different places, and then it's good to go, and it's perfect. So that's how the technology is getting crazy. Now,
how much would that Ender cost?
That is... It's they what do you call that when they did it's not out on the market yet. They're thinking about $400 or $500, but it's the size of these Ender 3s, but it has the auto bed leveling because it's solid bed.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind paying that much for one if it did what it that amount of money is not really that much when you compare how much you spend for a CNC.
Oh sure. When I started out, I had to download and modify all the firmware in the Arduino. These were Arduino boards on here, and I had to get a bootloader and download the software and modify it. And you no longer have to do none of that. It's the technology is going crazy.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like to me, $400 or $500. Compare that to what you would spend for a CNC machine. I mean, a cheap CNC machine is $2,500 easy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Then you got to buy software for it.
We have these Cindo brand printers up at the college. They're like $1,000, and they level themselves. You have to tell it to level, but they level themselves.
A Cindo printer?
Yeah, that's the name. Yeah, Cindo.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. They're I don't like them because you buy their filament. It comes with a little chip that the filament varies back and forth on different printers or on different productions. And these have been calibrated. So you put that little chip in. Well, instead of it costing $18 a roll, it costs you $28 a roll. So they've got to figure it out, how to make money on that particular exploit or issue. I don't know what you would call it, but.
Yeah. Oh, so the machine has to use that filament.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like it because of that reason.
Exactly. You should. All of this stuff is open source.
Right.
Well, it's like when you get an inkjet printer, HP started putting a chip in the ink cartridges, so you couldn't buy them and modify them and all of that. And
Or just refill them.
Yeah, I will not buy anything that's locked down like that when you have all this open source. It's just another way for them to make a pile of money.
Didn't Apple do that with their power cords there for a while? Or
Yes, it's
like,
ridiculous. And another thing, I will not buy a machine. If somebody has a CNC like this, or it's no problem. It's what everybody prefers. I am not buying like a Cricut or something like that, where you have to pay a monthly fee to use their software, and you have to do it through the internet web browser. So if you have no internet access, your machine is a weight, a lead weight. You know, I just don't.
It's a boat anchor.
Yep, it's a boat anchor. I won't.
That's a weight.
So that's pretty much sums it up. Now, Jim, you can get into your CAD software.
I think one of the big stumbling blocks with that people have when they talk about a 3D printer, it's how do I make it work? And there's a few things out there that are really easy to use, or you can just go and get a model off of it and throw it in your printer. So I'm going to go through a couple of those, Russ, if you let me share my screen. I'm going to click on share screen and click on share screen again. And I'm hoping this works. Share. Okay. One of the things you can do is just go on Thingiverse and find something that you like and download the models for it. So if we did
the baby Yoda's on there.
Yeah. So if I did something like I wanted a scroll saw accessory, I could click on here, go to scroll saw, and these are models that people have already designed, and you can just download these things and stick them in your scroll saw. So let's say we like this orange insert here. So we can come up and go on download all files. You don't even have to download all of them. And where are we at? So it's downloading them now. My camera is sitting in front of my monitor here, so. And it didn't download them for whatever reason. Hang on a minute.
Chris Nealon said Keurig tried to go proprietary, and that didn't last long. Yeah, I know. Jim Dockrell's in the house. Oh, Lord.
Jim, it's time for another haircut for me, and I'm going to use the Jim Dockrell COVID haircut method.
Yeah, really.
Let's try the scroll saw.
James Parker said he's not interested in your dead burn 3D printers. He's going to stay with the scroll saw.
Okay.
Show him that little tool, Jim, that you showed him. That's a scroll saw tool. Yes.
There's a scroll saw square right there.
Yes. For setting the angles. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the other one we had was an insert. So there you go, James. This will let you put an air blower hose right on the thing there. So these are little parts that you would use to make that with. So you 3D print all these things, put it all together, and you got it. Now, if you want to get into it a little bit more, you can go to a thing called Tinkercad. And Tinkercad is it's made by Autodesk. They're the same ones that do Fusion 360. And you can start an account with them, and then you can go through here and design whatever you want. Here's my Berkey coin. So if I want to mess with the Berkey coin, I can click on Tinker this. And it comes up on there, and you can,
at least it's not called TinkleCAD, so you don't tinkle on your project.
Yeah, really. But there's a lot of stuff you can do to it. You basically take shapes. This isn't something where you really draw things. You just kind of take shapes, and you can manipulate the shape sizes and things like that. And
to make something.
Yeah, and then you can take this, and if I want to put a hole in the middle of this, I take that. This shape is a hole now. It's not a solid. So then I can combine these two together. And I should have had a hole in the middle of that. So
It never works.
this is
never
not,
works.
yeah. I don't know what the deal is with this stuff tonight.
It's there. You got to raise it up. Just bring it up.
Yeah,
a
I
little.
know. Yeah. Hang on.
And
Let's
you'll
try it
see
again.
It's sunk into.
Yeah, there it is. So you do stuff like that, and there's all kinds of things you can do with this. There's different shapes, and there's a lot of different. If you want to draw letters, you can do that off to the side here. But this is the easiest CAD stuff that I've seen so far to use to make things.
Fusion 360 takes a college PhD to work that sucker.
Just to add to this, Jim, that is extraordinary software. I have many softwares here. I have a $2,000 sign software where I can do all of this, but I build 80% of my parts, and you wouldn't believe the sophisticated parts that I make in Tinkercad.
Oh, me too. I don't even use Fusion.
Yes, I made these gears that I showed you. I made all of this stuff in that Tinkercad. It's so simple to use, and you wouldn't believe the gears. This small gear that I drew in Tinkercad, it looks like an ordinary gear, but it's not. Each sets of teeth are tipped one way and the other 2 degrees, and it was all drawn up in Tinkercad.
How much does it cost to?
It's free.
It's free.
Totally free, and all your files, all your files will be on their website, and you can get to them on any computer and use it with your password. That is
now, once
so simple.
Yeah, it is great. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. So once you get your object the way you want it, you can save it or export it as an XDL file. So I'm going to call that Berkey. I'll throw it on my desktop someplace. Let me try the 3D printer files.
Richard Cohen just on Facebook asked if you could 3D print him a new truck.
Yeah, tell them we'll get right on it.
Will do.
Okay, and then you want to open up a program called a slicer, which will take that program and make it work on your 3D printer. So you guys talk a little bit because sometimes it takes my Cura a while to open.
Yeah, I'm sitting here running a program that actually levels the bed on this thing. It doesn't level it; it puts a pattern down and it stops at each point. And that's what I'm doing, trying to level this bed. I could have done it manually, but this is going to heat up the bed. The bed's got a particular temperature on it that it heats up to. This one's, I think, going to go to 60 degrees. And then the filament temperature is going to be at about 200 degrees. Those two temperatures will vary depending on the type of material you use. This happens to be PLA. There's also ABS, which needs a hotter bed temperature and a hotter extruder temperature. I just mess with PLA. I've got a little bit of what's called PET G, which is also pretty good plastic. Haven't ever used it. But PLA works for everything I need to. And the reason you might want some of that other ABS filament is perhaps maybe you need to print something that isn't sensitive to temperature, like that you want to put out in the front yard or something like that. Well, PLA will melt out in the sun if you leave it. These ear protectors that I'm printing, they're in PLA. Well, when they sit in the truck, they warp. And then you put them on your head, then they form to your head. You know, the temperature of the body is enough to slowly melt it back. But anyway, this thing is gonna try to print this round pattern all the way around it, and it's gonna stop here in a second, like it did. Well, I take a piece of paper, stick it up underneath here, turn the little wheel below here, and I'm going to feel a little bit of tension, just a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and tell it, okay, go to the next one, and it'll come up, or it'll go to the back one. I do them corner to corner, but this particular program does it on diagonal corners. See, that's really loose, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. And by the way, if you need to start up again, just holler. I mean,
No, go ahead till you get done there.
so
Yeah, us or Jim Docker wants to know how the heck you get from sawdust to printing plastic. It says let's talk shop with Russ. It didn't say what we've talked about.
Yeah, it's a
It says
maker's
talk-
channel.
Yeah,
this is
Anything.
out of my shop.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey Al, before they came out with all these BL Touch things and these sensors and that, I put a micro switch that would flip down on my printers, and then it would touch in 8 places. I put that in the code, and
Yeah.
my printer could actually be off from it would remember them parameters, so your printer bed could be off 1/4 of an inch, and it still would print level.
Yeah, I did buy a BL Touch and never put it on, but what it does is it snaps down. It hits the bed and snaps up, and you know, they just commercialized it, but there's no reason why you can't, like you do, put your own on-off switch when the bed or when the print finishes, because you can give it G code and code it to say, okay, move this thing all the way to the front. In fact, the A net that I've got in there is programmed that way. Go all the way up to the front, and then turn off as soon as it hits the front, because it normally doesn't go all the way to the end. It'll stay printing, close to the inside. But if you force it to go all the way to one end, boom, there's your actuation. I'm done. Yeah, it's just what your imagination can do with it. Let's see how this is. I normally just do it without the program.
Aussie Man said he saw a video online where they were 3D printing in steel.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
making bridges, houses, and all kind of stuff. Yes, I've seen that too, and I was amazed that what they. But now these aren't cheap 3D printing machines. Y'all have heard what's the ventriloquist comedian?
Jeff Dunham?
Yeah, Jeff Dunham. He has a 3D printer in his garage or in his shop where he makes his puppets. But now we're not talking about your normal 3D printer. He can actually, he molds and sculpts his own characters himself, so to speak, out of like clay or whatever. And then once he gets it to that position where he wants it, he can actually set it inside the machine. It will actually scan that, and then it'll turn around and print a 3D model of that for him. I think the last time that I think when I did some research on what he had, the setup that he had is like $30,000 for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I use the 3D scanner up at work at the Fab Lab, and I think I broke it when I scanned my face.
Reject.
So if this is done, it's homing out.
I think you're muted, Jim.
And it actually will check the Z.
You are muted, Jim. You muted yourself.
And now it's going to try to print that specific outline. You can see the filament coming out, and you can tell if it's wrong because it won't print. It like right here. See, like right there, it's real low. So I'm not convinced that that's the way that I need to do it. It took way longer than what I do it. It prints here. So to me, that's telling me that this corner back here
is too low.
Is too well.
And you can do that right on the fly, Al.
Exactly. And I normally do. And I normally do. Just like I kind of did, but it's still too high up. Let me see. The hardest thing is figuring out to turn it left or right.
Yeah. Which way's up and which way's down.
Yeah.
Luana Pierce has joined us. James
Hello,
Parker's
Luana.
still out there. I figured everybody would be quitting. I figured everybody would leave the chat once Jim Dockrell got in, but it looks like they're staying around.
See, I just adjusted that. to not be as close to the nozzle, and it picked up this side and started printing. I guess you can't see it too well because it's so far off.
No, it's we can see it.
Okay, good. And now it's going to print these little circles. Again, like I normally do, and like Dickson said, is you usually do it on the fly. It's a lot faster for me to take it corner to corner, because when you change one corner, the other one goes off. If you think of it, it's kind of like
I know. That's what aggravated me when I was first learning how to set up my bed. I'd change one, and then I go to the other one, and well, that one friggin' moved. What the heck?
So you go corner to corner, and then corner to corner, and then corner to corner, and corner to corner.
I'm like, yeah, it took me a while to figure that out.
When I put the first micro switch that would swing down, and this is way back, and touch the bed, I showed a guy that you could make a perfect print by having the bed off 1/4 of an inch.
Wow.
Because it would remember them parameters when the micro switch touched, and it remembers that grid, and it's like you can have the bed off 1/4 of an inch and it'll print perfect because your Z moves along because it knows that it's lower on one end and not the other.
Jim, did you have something you wanted to?
Yeah, I got my. If you want to go ahead and pop me back on the sharing there.
There you go.
So your almost last step in the whole process is to open a slicer program up. This is a free program, Cura, so it's all open source and a lot of people use it. So I'll look in my area where I've downloaded all my 3D models, and I'll grab Berkey and toss them over here. And then we can take a peek at it. And over here, you get different settings that you can set. I like to run mine at, it just tells you everything you can do with it. I like to run mine at 210 degrees and 60 degrees for the bed. And that seems to work great for my printer. And that's, all these things are things you play with a little bit and take them off of the standard settings that they have built into the program for the machines. And then you click slice. When you do that, it tells you how long it's going to take to print and how much filament it takes. And then you just take that file, download it to a whatever, either your machine directly, or if you have a little SD card that you run back and forth with, and that's kind of what I do with it. Yeah, but that's really all you have to do to print something. I mean, this could be something off Thingiverse. It could be something that you designed yourself. Not that tough.
Cool.
And you can, if something breaks in your shop or the kitchen or something like that, you can make your own parts instead of spending a fortune for them.
Right.
So, okay. Go ahead and pop the panel back up there if you could. Hey, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Jerry Brown wants to know, how accurate is Cura estimate versus real time? He says, I simply use 3D and it seems to always be off.
Yeah, Simplify 3D I've not used yet, but all I can speak to is Cura, and it works really well. Yeah, but I've heard some good stuff about Simplify 3D too. I thought at one point in time I was going to go ahead and buy it, but
they're all off about 10%.
Mine's pretty close though.
Yeah,
I mean it's just
I'm still using the 15.4 Cura.
I know.
Yeah, I say that to people and they go, "What are you talking about? It's only up to 3. Well, if they go look back, all my machines are running on 15.4, and I cannot. It's the details are so smooth that I got to keep it there. I can't change.
And it's actually what 1.5, right? Is what it really is.
Hey, Al, hold that up.
15.4.
The camera can see what.
Yeah, I'm taking it off, and it's kind of hard to get off, but it printed around like that, and then it printed in the corners, and then it printed in the center. I've taken these off already.
Now, how stable is that bed? By taking that plate off and putting it back on,
it's as stable as it's going to be. Yeah,
No, what I mean is, though, once you take it off and like clean it, now you put it back on, you don't have to re-level it, do you?
No. I mean, technically, you would think you would because you messed with it, but it's usually close enough.
Okay.
Dills is the worst thing that people get caught doing. They don't realize that my bed's got to be leveled every time. They're banging the piece and they don't take the plate off. As long as you take the plate off and remove it, or the glass, like I have glass.
Right.
Years,
Remove the plate to take whatever the object
yes,
is.
it'll stay level for months.
Yeah, right.
And
No, I
months.
understand that.
Yeah, no, here's this little TV that I got here. And if you look at how smooth this is the part that was on the bed. It's like glass, but look at the rest of it. The resolution on the back of this is so smooth.
It is. I've got one of those, remember?
Yeah.
And it's tough to, it's tough for people to get that, but I'm not going to change my software as long as
No, I was shocked
Yeah.
how smooth that did print when you sent that one to me. I was like, holy crap. Luana Pierce is out there. Jerry Brown. Hi, Jerry. When a Girl Has No Name has joined us.
Lady Frenzy Wicked Truth. Yeah, and I'm not paying attention to the chat, guys. It's really hard today.
Oh, that's fine. My bot quit, Restream chat quit working, and now it started working again. So I was just watching the Restream here on Facebook because it didn't look like people were commenting too much.
When I first build a printer, Al, I do the same thing. I do a nickel-sized circle on all four corners, and when you see that first layer go down, you can see right away what's got to happen.
Exactly.
And I adjust it on the fly, and it's ready to go within 5 minutes. You can level a bed.
Yeah, I will. Will do the same thing on other prints. This just happened to have the Ender 3D, leveling STL on here.
Sure. Yep.
Richard Kuhn wanted to know if you could 3D print him a new truck.
Yeah, tell him we'll get on that.
There's a guy that 3D printed a Lamborghini. Check that out one time. Obviously took a while. And then there's the giant plastic 3D printer, but the filament they made for that, I think, is like a 1/4 inch nozzle, and
Wow.
they 3D print it live. You can go watch it. They 3D printed a boat, a full size boat.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Richard needs to have some pontoons printed as well.
Yeah.
Put on the side of his truck.
Or
See,
some
now,
little
if he had-
floats you can put under
if
it.
he had inflatable pontoons, he could have just inflated them before he went, and then it would have just floated. His truck would have floated around. He wouldn't have had that problem.
That's right. Float her out of there.
Hey, Richard, with friends like this, who needs enemies, right?
But Jerry Brown, he said he has a Prusa.
Yeah, that's the
Joe Prusa. Yep. That's the big bucks. $700 for the little one.
He's building a Corey XY off YouTube channel. I saw.
Yeah, Core
Oh,
XY.
Core XY.
Core XY. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Up a little bit higher than that, Russ. Jerry said he finished this big order on his Prusa. It took 12 hours to print for one part, 5 hours for the other one. So 17 hours total per print. He had to do all 7 of them. 3 rolls of filament. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the longest I print, and these newer ones too. They have that auto. If you lose power, they'll return back and start printing. And if you run out of filament, I have sensors on where they'll stop, and then you load them up and go again. I think the longest print I had was 3 days straight.
Wow.
The Prusa. So the Prusas are workhorses, huh?
Yeah, they're the Cadillacs of printers, but you can get these $250, $300 CR Ender 3s to print just as good.
Yeah, Joseph Prusa is a guy over in Europe that invented a thing, but he's got dozens and dozens and dozens of these things in his shop there, and all they do is print parts to make more 3D printers. It's just, if you watch his YouTube video about his factory, it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, at one time he was selling $30,000 worth of printers a month.
Yeah.
He's got a giant factory.
Crazy.
It is a Cadillac machine for what it does. You know, you turn it on, that's it. It's excellent software, and it's going to run right out of the box. You won't have to.
Oh, reading what Richard said over there on Facebook. He said about printing his truck. He said it had to float.
Okay, we might be able to do that.
I guess PLA floats.
We can put bladders in the fenders and
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. You just put the fenders in as
Why
a
not get that canned foam and just fill the fenders full of foam?
well, if you put the bladders on it, you can hook them up to the exhaust with check valves and keep them inflated all the time.
Inflated?
Yep. You won't even know they're there.
You're thinking like me, Jim. You might as well just put a small compressor right underneath
Yeah.
and have them constantly monitor and so they never leak.
Yeah.
I got a good one to ask him. I'll ask him next time I ask him. I say, what makes a hot air balloon rise? When he says hot air, I'm going to say, well, what's keeping you on the ground?
Ooh. Like I said, Richard, with friends like this.
He'll be here all week, folks. Tip your waitress.
Mr. Doughboy 356 joined us. And we're fixing to leave. A lot of people are like Luann, everybody. Y'all come on at this thing starts at 8 o'clock, and y'all come in at 9.
Luana's got AC problems. Give her a break.
AC problems?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Nope.
She says, oh, except AC, but the weather has been nice for the last few days. Well, that's good.
Yeah, it all depends where she lives.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if this thing will print some ear protectors, some surgical mask fixtures. It'll take like 2.5 hours. This thing is slow. I mean, it is slow.
Well, the ender?
Yeah. You got to crank up your speeds.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me that they had the speeds fixed where they wouldn't go any faster.
No, I can see how fast it's running, and you're running about 45%.
Yeah, it's slow.
Really, there's something going on.
I got a question for everybody out in the chat. Do you like us talking about stuff like this, or you just want to?
I don't give a flip if they like
it. Well, no, I think that was a no. I don't want to come on here and see like 5 people watching and 6 of them are us. You know?
That was just a joke, by the way. We're gonna have nobody watching next week. No, but I think
I think every subject's going to have its own crowd.
Yes,
so, you're right. Yeah,
it's all
right.
making.
We talked about 3D printing every week, I'm sure that a lot of the people that are out there wouldn't stay every week, but we don't do that. We mix it up. We talk about different things all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about how to make a Star Trek engine on the lathe. We can talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe out of pallet wood.
It's nice to see different things. Jim Dockrell said chat away. It's all creative.
Okay.
Man says he hates it. That's why he's here every week.
Yeah. You're a glutton for punishment, though, Aussie.
Girls, when a girl has no name, she says, it's not my show. You run it how you want. Luana Pierce says, I love hearing y'all all talk.
Yeah, Luana's watched me make some of these engines.
Yeah.
If you don't care for the 3D printing part, at least 3D print some baked cookies that you could fill up with all your little cookies.
Oh, yeah. That is actually cool.
And here's a chocolate chip one. They're empty right now. The grandkids, they were over.
Pour into them.
Grandkids eat all the stuff.
Yep, they're gone.
Well, I like to spread out and learn, and I want to get back I'm in the process of all my remodeling. We did the kitchen. Now I'm doing the bathroom. Once I get this bathroom finished, I'm going to take a break for a while. And the first thing I'm going to have to do is spend like 2 or 3 days just cleaning my shop, because it's like when you're working like that, and whenever you bring a tool out, it inevitably never gets put back where it's supposed to be. So the other day I had to take 30 minutes to find something that I had used in the beginning of the bathroom remodel that I needed to use again, and I couldn't find it because it didn't get put back. So it's
Now,
like,
how many times have you gone out and bought the tool again because you don't know where the word
Oh
is?
man,
yeah,
that's me.
yeah,
We're cleaning the basement out so my wife can put that quilting machine down here. And I cleaned off an old workbench I had down here. I found my old scroll saw. I found three squares, the little ones.
Oh yeah.
A height gauge for my table saw and router table.
yeah.
It's like I haven't seen this stuff for years.
Well, that's what I said. I'm going to take 2 or 3 days as soon as I get this bathroom done, and just have to put everything back. This part here, this is a mess. The other one's even more of a mess. I got like a walkway through the middle of all the stuff because I'm bringing in materials, using it, and all. And it's like it's going to take me 2 or 3 days just to straighten the shops out, where I can get back in them and start doing some scrolling or turn some bowls or do something. So, but that's my plan, is once I get this bathroom done, I'm not going to do anything until probably any more remodeling until the first of next year. Well, I'll have to recuperate all the money I've dumped into this stupid thing. The bathtub was what, $1,800. So I got to recuperate all the money.
I cleaned my shop and I found one of the kids. They were 28 years old already.
Yeah, for real.
And you were still feeding him.
Yeah. Yeah, he was chewing on some sawdust or something. I couldn't understand.
What are you
Russ,
printing, Al?
Russ, you have to change. Oh, I'm trying to point to this. It's kind of hard. You have to. It's not there anymore. It's some of those ear protectors for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, one of these. But yeah, exactly. You can see them. One of these.
Yeah.
This actually is
but
what's messed up. That's why it's so thin.
I ordered them from Dickson. His printer moves faster.
This is the I have.
I'll just give you a hard time.
Well, no, you're totally correct.
Yeah, something like that. No, you can print at 100% speed, and they'll be all right.
How fast do you print your stuff, Dickson?
When I got a hold of these tolerances, that I'm always going about 70 to 72%. If it's not a production part that I'm making for a customer, then I'll let her rip at 100. And these things running, these Enders 3s and the CR5s and CR10s. It's crazy how fast you can get them going, and they're still good.
You can get them to go faster.
Oh yeah,
we're told that they go slow. They are slow. It's something that they put in the ROMs to keep them from going fast. But
no, in your Kira slicer, crank up that speed.
Yeah, I've got the FT5, the Folger Tech that when I was showing the extruder on, I got it going at 120 millimeters per second. I think that's the average.
You can crank them up. You can.
Yeah, I mean, it just flies.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside after the show and save the G code, because that's what Kira does. Kira takes the STLs or the drawing files and converts them over to a language that the printers will understand. So I think I'll reconvert it over and see if I can't get it to go 120, because it looks like it's pretty well level.
If you ever remember or ever hear of Hick Top, they used to make printers. I had that freaking thing. I had the jerk on it, and I had it printing so fast it was vibrating off the table. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
It was vibrating. It was doing what it's told, and I couldn't believe the bearings were holding up, because it was just shaking, because I cranked the speed and the jerk up. So when it told it to go one way and then the other, it did it, and it was vibrating across this computer table. I got here and I'm laughing.
Well, there's a joke in that somewhere, but I'm not going there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Luanna, I'll show some pictures of the bathroom once I'm completed. I'll actually take a picture of the shower. We're going to try to get the shower doors on tomorrow. And if I get the shower doors on and everything, I might just take a picture of the shower and post it. It's a very nice shower. So you're going to see about printing Aussie man a octopus, Jim?
Yeah, you know what? I will. Aussie, what color do you want it? Hope I got that color.
Copper, gold, copper.
I've got pink, white. I think we've got green left. Orange, I think I've got blue.
Aussie man, he wants to know what color you want it. See if he has the color.
Yeah, we got to catch up in the chat here.
Yeah, it's probably going to cost $50 to ship that stupid thing.
Yeah, I know. Is there anything else we can send him over there and send it in one box so he doesn't have to pay just for an octopus? I mean, because they probably got plenty off the coast he can grab over there.
He says he don't care. Any will do.
Throw a printer in with that octopus.
Yeah, might as well, man.
The coins that I sent him, I stuck in an envelope, and I've kind of figured out that I can send coins overseas. It's $1.20 for the stamp, but that's not a big deal. But the point is I can stick them in an envelope, fold them down, and they get there. So as long as you can stick it in an envelope.
What did it cost you to send it though?
$1.20. The stamps, the forever stamps are $1.20.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
To Australia.
Yeah, to Australia, to anywhere overseas. I sent some stuff to the UK, to Canada. It's $1.20 for half an ounce. Go ask for the forever stamps, I believe is what they're called. I don't have them here.
We've got some of those.
Yeah.
All right, Aussie, I've got orange. It's orange. It is.
Okay.
I just looked back
Mr.
there.
Mr. Doughboy says, I shower in the nude, not trying to brag or anything. No, I
way to go, Doughboy.
I shower with all my clothes on. That way I can wash my clothes at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, after this stream or this show, I'm definitely going to take a shower. It's hot out in the shop. I had to turn the swamp cooler off because of the background noise.
What question? What's a shower?
Yes, we know that Aussie man offered to pay for the octopus and the ship.
We got it. Yeah, I'll start printing it, Aussie. You need to send me your address, though, buddy.
He's going to.
See, that messed up right there.
Jim's going to print him one, and he'll just have Aussie man pay for the shipping because I got news for you. Shipping ain't cheap.
No, it's getting to be more all the time.
Yeah, it's incredible how much it costs to ship stuff. Only break I got is when my son was in the military because I could send it to him. What is it, FPO or PO?
PO, yeah.
Yeah, it was cheaper that way. And we did the one box weight ships. I could do that one for like $16, and we could pile a lot of crap in one of those boxes. Trust me, we could get a lot of stuff in there.
FPO is great.
Yeah. Yeah, send he just posted it, Jim.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find a folder on my desktop to stick that in so I don't lose it. Nope, that's a bad one.
When did Canada become overseas?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it costs more to ship to Canada than it does to ship anywhere else in the United States. Now, come on. I'll agree it don't cost as much to ship from the United States to Canada as it does from the United States to like Australia.
Yeah.
I shipped a demo case to one of our sales guys in Canada once, and then I shipped it. It was expensive. Then I got a letter from UPS that said I had to pay customs charges on it too.
Yeah. See, that's where they get
the
you.
case probably didn't even cost that much to make.
That's where they get you is it's not only the shipping is extra, but you have to pay the custom charge. So in other words, I know somebody that got sent a hat that the hat was only worth like $15 and the hat ended up costing them $50 by the time the shipping, and then they put the charges on them to have to pay for it. Time they paid their custom tax to get it into that country, $15 hat ended up costing them $50.
Yeah.
Yep. Crazy.
Yeah. But yes, and it's not that I would love to be able to. About the best thing that you can do is, which I'm going to try to start doing that this coming year. I'm definitely going to try it if I have the scroll saw challenge this year. I'm definitely going to start doing this. I'm going to change the rules, and I'm going to put some of the prizes. We're going to see. Got a couple of sponsors that have already said that they would do that, and we're going to start doing like maybe some cash instead of the prize, and you have to have a PayPal account.
There you go.
Yeah, because PayPal is pretty much worldwide.
Yep. Not only that, you could, if somebody wants to donate, Amazon card, shoot it to you in PayPal. You know what I mean? And you got an Amazon card right through the internet.
Yep. So that's what I'm saying, that we're going to change. So some of the prizes are going to be through PayPal. And if you want to enter, and if you live in a foreign country and you want to get a prize, that's the only way you're going to get it. Is otherwise, I'm going to start just going like, look, if you enter and you're in a foreign country, you're not eligible for a prize due to the fact that shipping is. Because I ended up, and he didn't tell me this, and I felt bad about it. And it was Klingspor. They ended up putting a prize out, and the guy that won the prize lived in like the Netherlands. They don't ship to the Netherlands. Yeah. So, and he didn't say anything previous to me that there was restrictions on where they would and wouldn't ship. So he ended up contacting the guy, and that's what he did. He told him, if you have a PayPal account, I'll just send you some cash for what it was going to be worth. In other words, so that's what I'm going to start doing, because it's and here's the thing, people from the foreign countries, and I know they want to enter so bad and they want to be part of it, but it's just like, I can't help it. I mean, I can't buy a prize worth $20 and it ended up costing me $50 to send it overseas.
We started to put seam rippers on my wife's sewing Etsy store, and the first one we sold was to a gal in England. I'm like, man, it took like a week to figure out how to get it over there if it didn't, so it wouldn't cost $20. And she finally said, "Hey, just send it to my friend in Miami, and they'll get it to me." It was such a hassle to try to send something over.
I had the same thing.
Jerry Brown said he had a giveaway, and he did that PayPal to the winner of one of his prizes in Ireland because it was going to kill him on sending the stuff over. That's the way it's going to have to be. If you want to enter and you're in a foreign country, you got two choices: open a PayPal account so that we can send you if you're one of the winners of the cash, or just enter and understand that you're not going to be eligible for a prize. So, yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, you could ask them to just pay for shipping, but once again, why in the world would they want to pay $50 for shipping on something that's only worth $20?
Yeah.
I mean, they would. I hate to say this, if they'd be an idiot if they did that. I mean, they could turn around and order it online and from Amazon, probably that same product, and get it cheaper and get it sent. Now, these big companies don't have that problem like Amazon. Amazon has gotten so big that they worked out a deal with the shipping company and stuff. They're getting it in places that, and they're not paying that big extraordinary. It's you and I that are paying that big bulk or the price for the small stuff in shipping. So.
Yeah, the deal with Amazon is really nice because, like, for instance, I went yesterday to try to find some labels, some clear 8.5 by 11 labels at Office Depot. I'll just mention the place. Well, they didn't have them. And I know I saw them on Amazon, but yet I spent like 2 hours going to different stores trying to find these labels, and I couldn't find them. Went back home, ordered them. They're going to be here tomorrow. And this was yesterday. And I'm like, why didn't I just do that? It's.
I have done the same thing, and that's what I'm starting to do. Yep.
They're in trouble because them stores are less products on the shelves because of what's happening, and it's just getting worse. It's like Amazon's going to take over.
Did you see that Amazon now is starting to compete with Amazon? They have went to, you pay $98 a year and you get free shipping and all the little perks just like Amazon. They've gone to that too.
Yeah, Prime.
Yeah, they're it's Walmart's doing their version of it's Walmart. Prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
They purchased some huge company that already does that that's sourcing fulfillment. They do that fulfillment, and I forgot the name. They purchased them because they're trying to catch up to Amazon.
We've got Amazon Prime, and we
You
get
had a
like
few
the
things.
video stuff with it, and
Yep. I've had it for many
it's pretty nice.
years.
I've had it for many years too. Yeah, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Walmart is actually the only company that I can think of that could possibly compete with Amazon on that kind of a level.
Yes.
Because they're so big, you know.
Yes. Went to Lowe's this weekend. Wife wanted a blind, an expensive blind for the kitchen. Ended up coming back home and going right to Amazon.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Same blind is going to be here in 3 days.
Yep.
We need stuff for the rental in Florida, and we're going to order it from Amazon as we pull out, and it'll probably get there the same time we get there. So,
Right.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, Luann says sometimes some of the stuff that they want is sentimental value. I understand that's sentimental value, but there comes a point when it's sentimental value and logical reasoning is what this is
Right.
going to cost. You know.
Well, I'm all for giving the little guy or the local guy money. No ifs, ands, or buts. But when
right.
I at least try and
Yeah.
find it, and it's been time after time after time after time,
Yes.
it just comes to the point where you just say, the heck with it. I could
Yeah.
be 3D printing.
And you go to the 3 stores, Al, I'll bet you $100. You went there and they says, well, we can order it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they say.
No, but I
Yeah.
need it now.
Yes. That happened to
the-
me. I needed something the other day, and they said they had it in the store. And we're not talking about my table saw. And I've got now where I'm smarter. I call the store and I have them look and make sure that they have it there before I drive my butt all the way there.
Yep.
Yeah, Lowe's
It's
is
like-
real good about that, Russ.
Yes.
When I bought the new table saw, we went to our local Lowe's, and there it is, a display model. Everything is good. I can see a box on the shelf, but they didn't have it in stock. I asked the
Yeah.
girl, but then what the hell am I looking at?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I went to buy a refrigerator, the same exact thing, and it was at Lowe's. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
I went to buy a refrigerator, and I'm sitting there looking at refrigerators, and I want this one. Well, we don't have that one. Well, why do you have it there then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I look at another one. And he says, "Yeah, we've got plenty of those. We got 782 of those." The guy next to him goes, "No, that's in the warehouse in Dallas."
Yeah.
Did you guys ever hear of Fleet Farm? Do you have Fleet Farms down there?
Yeah,
Farm and Fleet or Fleet Farm?
farm and fleets we have
Yeah.
here.
I went in a blizzard to go get a humidifier or to put moisture in the air, a stand-up one about 5 feet high by 3 feet long. I grabbed the box at Fleet Farm. It says on it the Whisperer, so quiet. I get home and I usually open boxes up in my vehicle. I get home and I open it up and I looking at it. I said, "Oh, it's supposed to be really quiet." I plug it in and I'm telling you, I know better because I'm working on machines all my life and programming. All of a sudden, I'm going, "There's something wrong. It's not making a sound." I go, "Holy Christ, it is quiet." I opened it up and I took the 4 screws out and I had to open it up. The fan was missing, was gone. The
The
fan
squirrel
was
cage part or the whole motor and
the
everything.
whole motor with the fan was
Oh
not.
my god!
I took the screws off and I go, "Oh my God, imagine how many people bought these." Because I went back to Fleet and she says, "Oh yeah, some people have been bringing them back." Imagine how many people got them humidifiers in their home in the winter and they think they're doing something and they're not. Because
Wow.
it's called a Whisper, and I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. So I grabbed another one, and I had the screwdriver. I took it all apart on the shelf. I says, "Okay, this has got a fan. We'll see you later." But I
Wow.
couldn't believe it in a blizzard.
I forgot to show y'all this, but I didn't realize they were behind me until I turned around looking for something. But yeah, I did these little things. This is on my little Ender 3D.
Cool.
Nice.
Look at the detail underneath.
That's
The detail underneath this thing.
Cool.
When did you do that? Oh, recently?
yeah. You've been holding out on us, Russ.
You holding out. You've been sandbagging, and look at the detail.
Look at that. Yes, sandbagger.
Are you sure you didn't cut them with a scroll?
No. No, because I printed the skull first, and I didn't clean the bed real good. You can see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
It came out of the
Yeah.
nozzle a little bit.
Yeah,
Wait a minute,
those are-
didn't I see those at Hobby Lobby?
Yeah. No, you can tell if you look real close. You can tell those are 3D printed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, those came out nice.
That did.
Yeah, you can see the layering on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see this one though, because of the way that the design is, you can't hardly see the layering.
Right, it's
Right.
part of the image.
Yeah.
It disguises it.
And let's see, I got
Little doggy, you got the little doggy.
Yeah, I got the little. I made that's the first thing I ever printed.
Yes, I see it.
Yep, that was the
Oh.
first thing I ever
Oh,
printed.
so cute.
How much is the doggy in the window?
I printed in nylon. I figured out years ago how to print in nylon, and you can take a nylon part and hit it with a hammer, and you will not break it.
Wow.
But you screw the hammer up, right?
All
Oh,
right,
nylon is extremely hard, but you have
we're
to
gonna
keep it all
cut out of
sealed.
here. It's 9:41, almost quarter till 10.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh my God, it's only 8:45 here.
Boy, you let those 3D
Yeah, really.
printer guys start talking and look what happens.
Yeah, they won't shut up.
Sorry about that.
No, it was a good show. I think it was a real good show.
Yeah.
We got a lot covered, and Al's still over here. One more shot of Al. He's still over there printing on his ender.
Yeah, and I'll leave it print the rest of the deal. Even though it's not the best print, it messed up a little bit on that first layer, but I'm going to let it go because I haven't printed with the ender for a while, so I'm just going to let it run it through. And
I wish I had some tabletop space here to put mine together with. That thing's been in a box underneath my table here for probably 8 or 9 months since I bought it. I think I got it the same time Russ got his Ender 3 because everybody was buying them then. They were
I
on
got mine
sale.
for my birthday last year.
Yeah, that's when I bought one too because you said it was like $129.
Yep, they were 129.
Yeah, and it's been underneath my table here ever since. I don't have space to put it up.
So, all right, guys. Thank you all for being out there in the chat. Had quite a few out there. We had people over there on Facebook. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people over there watching us on Facebook. Actually, more than that. Richard Kuhn would be 9. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch more up here. We probably had 20, 25 people over on Facebook. Jack Waro,
Wow.
Chris Pine, Dale Thurp, Hans Meyer, Ragtie,
hey, Red,
Rags over there?
Ragtie.
Wow.
Brian
Yeah.
Short, Nancy Little, Glenna Bashir, your wife is over
Oh
there.
yeah, no, she's creeping on me here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rodney.
Everybody ignore anything she said about me in the comments.
So all
Please.
those people over there in the over there on Facebook. So let me close this out. Make sure I'm not closing out the wrong thing here. So all right, guys, we're going to call it a night. And I appreciate y'all all being out there, all the thumbs up and everything. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Dickson. Thank you, Jim, for your contributions to the show tonight. And thank you, Chris and Brenda, for being here.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well,
Pleasure to
there's
be here.
only one thing we've got to do. And if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, and I have been too darn busy, but I've been making sawdust inside my bathroom. So you're just too darn busy. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. One of the two. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Hey, everybody.
Night,
Good night.
y'all.
Good, everyone.
Remember, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yes, you cannot stay here.
What
But
Chris
we might. It's members only now.
live long and prosper.
Now, when I end this broadcast, is it ended for? I'll try it. And we'll
It
see.
ends if we don't see you.
Yeah, I guess it does.